Hi everyone, my name is Nicole. This is my very first YouTube video, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous about it, but I'm also kind of excited about it because I've literally been saying I was gonna make a YouTube video for like 9 years, and I've always been like too scared. Like I'll sit down and film it, I'm like, no, I can't. No, I'm scared. So, and the funny thing is, it's like 3 in the morning right now, and I was just like laying in bed and I was like, I'm in the mood to make a video. Like, I'm gonna do it. So I got out of bed, I put on makeup, and I put on like a nice shirt, necklace, and I've got like my pajama pants on. Um, but the reason why I want to make the video, or what like made me think to make the video, is because I'm getting ready to go to Scotland in a couple months. And so I was just like kind of making a list of like travel stuff I needed to do and all that other stuff. So I was like, this might be a good video to make. Just share some of like my, travel tips that I like. Just because, they're kind of useful. And even though like a lot of you probably know these tips already anyway. And, but it's summer and I know a lot of people are traveling anyway. So I was like, I'm gonna make a video. So I've got the list on my phone. So if I look at my phone a lot, that's why, because I'm kind of scatterbrained and I was like, I'll probably forget about it. So my first tip is to wear comfy clothes. This is probably one of the most important ones because there's nothing worse than, especially on like a longer flight, um, you're going to be hanging around in the airport a lot of the day. You're going to be traveling, and if you've got to go to like different terminals, you're going to be getting on a bus, and it's just, you want to be comfortable. You don't want to wear like a brand new pair of shoes that you just bought and you're breaking them in and you're like walking around all day in the airport, because I've done that. I like went out and bought a pair of shoes, and then I was like, I'm gonna wear these for traveling because they're super cute. And then I'm walking around the airport all day and my feet hurt. So there's nothing worse. So I would, wear comfy clothes, wear comfy shoes. I usually will always wear, I have like my go-to outfit that I like for traveling. It's usually always a black pair of leggings and a black shirt. Like I would even wear this shirt. And then I will usually wear my black Converse. Um, my Converse are like my go-to shoes. I find them super comfortable, so I'll wear those. But for me, the reason I like to wear like a dark outfit is because I'm pretty messy. And so if I'm like eating or something in the airport or on the airplane and I like drop food on me, it's not gonna like show up. I can just like wipe it off and still look okay when I get to where I'm going. Because I've done that before. I had on like a nice like lighter color outfit, and then like when I get there I have like food stains all over me. So now I just like, will wear a darker colored outfit. So that's my first tip. My second tip is to bring snacks with you. And yeah, this one is like important for me because snacks at the airport are expensive. And I get hungry a lot. So like there's no way I'm gonna spend, $5 for a bag of candy or something. I mean, that might be like exaggerating, but it's probably pretty close to that. It's expensive. So I have this like little book that I use, and I literally got this thing for like $3 at Ross. And I'll just like open it up, and a few days before I travel, I'll just like make a list of stuff that I need to get from the store. So I'll write like chips and candy and gum and whatever else that I want to have with me. And then, I can get them from Walmart for a lot cheaper. And then I will just throw them in my carry-on bag and have them with me. Now, but for like snacking, like I just like to have stuff in my bag. Which brings me to my next point, is to stay hydrated when you're traveling, because you can get so dehydrated when you travel, especially on like a longer flight. Going to Scotland, it's like a 6.5 hour flight, and it just dries you out. And for me, like I get super thirsty when I'm on the flight, and I like to have like a bottle of water with me. So what I like to do is I will just keep like an empty bottle of water. I mean, not an, then it wouldn't be empty, would it? An empty bottle in my carry-on bag. And then, because obviously like you can't get through security with the water bottle if it's full. But if it's empty, then you can just throw it in your bag, and then when you get through security, you can fill it up with water. And, you know, if you're going through a lot of water before you travel, then that's a lot, because water bottles at the airport too are like $4 or $5, which is crazy. So if you have a empty water bottle with you, you can just keep refilling it when you use it. My next one is to bring up backup entertainment. This one for me is probably one of the most important ones because I get really bad flight anxiety. I've like had a panic attack before getting on a plane, and like the door was closed and I had to like get off the plane, and it was like an awful experience. So, for me, I need something to distract me. So I've got my iPad and I will just download movies onto it, and I've got like music on there as well. But for me, it's like a good way to stay distracted. And I think now, like a lot of airlines, obviously, a lot of them have like the TVs in front of the seats, which is good, but things happen. And there's been a couple of times where like we've gotten on the flight and the TVs don't work or something like that. So for me, I like to have that backup just in case, because then I can just like put my headphones in and it distracts me. The next one is to get to the airport early. I'm like one of those people that likes to show up like, 10 hours before my flight, which is excessive. But, I like getting there early. And so yeah. And I also like to research the airport terminal, like where I'm going to be ahead of time as well. And I think this kind of goes back to like the whole anxiety thing about flying. I like to be prepared, and so I like to know kind of like the layout of the terminal that I'm going to at a time in case I have like a connecting flight or something. I like to know ahead of time like where I need to go and like how long it's going to take to get there, instead of me doing it like when I'm actually traveling, because that just like adds to my anxiety. So I like to be prepared ahead of time, which I found helps a lot. So my next one is to keep your must-have items like right in front of you. So what I like to do is I usually know that I'm going to need my iPad. I'm going to need my headphones. I'm going to need my slippers, because like traveling to Scotland, it's a longer flight. So I like to take my shoes off, but I don't like to walk around with like just socks on, especially going to the bathroom. So I will always have like a pair of slippers in my carry-on bag. So I'll usually always have like a rolly bag, and then I have like a Michael Kors tote bag that I use as well. So I will usually, right before I'm boarding the plane, I'll open up the zipper bag and I will take the slippers out and I'll just throw them in my tote bag. That way when I get on the plane, I'm not like opening up my zipper bag and like holding people up from getting to their seat. That way everything is already in my tote bag, and that's the only bag that I'm gonna have in front of me. And the other bag I'll put up, above me. So it's just easier that way. And that way I can kind of like grab things out of the tote bag, and I don't have to like get up during the flight to grab stuff out of the bag. The next one too is super important. And I would recommend not exchanging your currency. Like if you're traveling internationally, obviously if you're not, then this doesn't apply. But if you're traveling internationally, I would not exchange your currency at the airport. It's going to cost so much money in exchange rates. I remember when we were flying back from Scotland, our flight got into Newark, and I had pounds left over. And I was like, I'm going to go see how much I can get for these. And then she told me, and I was like, what? I was like, no. So, yeah, I wouldn't do it at the airport. Now, obviously, like, sometimes things happen, you don't have time, and so you have to. but I would recommend not, if possible. The best place that I found that offers like a pretty good exchange rate is usually your bank. Like I had Wells Fargo, and that's who I ordered them with before, and it was a pretty good exchange rate. This last time I used Travelex, I think it's what it's called. And I mean, it was expensive, but it was decent. You know, it wasn't as expensive as it was going to be at the airport because I was doing it ahead of time and ordered them ahead of time. So, if you can do that, I would recommend it. And also, speaking about like your bank too, I would make sure that whenever I fly anywhere, even if it's still in the United States, I will still let my bank know that I'm going out of town because I just, I worry about that type of thing, and I don't want to be like using my card and they're like, sorry, it doesn't work. So, especially like international travel as well, because there was one time when I forgot, and I remember they like called me and all that just to make sure, which is good. But there's even like, I think there's even a way that you can set it up online too, where you just like go in and you make your travel selection, like the date that you're leaving, and like where you're going, and then what day you'll be back. And that way they know that, if you live in like Florida and you have a charge in like Germany because that's where you're going, that it's legit. So I would look into that. And also I would look into your cell phone plan, like if you're traveling internationally. For me, I used to have Verizon, and it was just so expensive. So now we have T-Mobile because they offer like a pretty good international plan, I think. Like, so I'm not sure what happened, and like why there's a gap, like what I was filming, and then like my video started to freeze pretty bad. So, but yeah, those are pretty much all the tips that I had with the money currency one. Um, so yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I think my next video I might do would be like, what's in my carry-on bag, because I personally like watching those. I think they can give you a lot of really cool like tips and ideas. I could also do like a travel outfit, like put together some looks of outfits that I sometimes wear. I'll also probably do like a June favorites video, just because I think those are fun to watch too. Pretty cool finally making this video, because I've been saying I was going to do it for so long. And I always talked myself out of it. I was like, you know what? No, it's a bad video. No, it doesn't look good. I like kept making excuses. So, I was definitely glad to finally like make this video. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching, and